he will make up stories. And, you know, he holds up the Bible and then he lies. I think it's very inappropriate.
This is now a pattern. I mean, every day there is something new that they are making up. And I think voters are beginning to notice, you know, you do it once, it happened. You do it twice, disturbing. You do it every single day, it becomes a very disturbing pattern of misleading voters and saying things that just aren't true.
The L word, liar. That's what Donald Trump and Marco Rubio are both calling Ted Cruz. But will that harsh label be enough to turn voters against the Texas senator? Let's discuss it, and we will do so as he Skypes in from the battle-born state of Nevada with former mayor of Bogota, New Jersey, Steve Lonegan, who's the director of monetary policy for American Principles in Action. Also joining us via telephone, my old colleague on Capitol Hill, ex-Georgia Congressman Jack Kingston. It is great to have you both. And Steve, first to you. I know the gloves are coming off in South Carolina, but these accusations of dishonesty, are they hurting the Cruz campaign in the Palmetto State?
Well, clearly not. We see the senator moving up in the polls with today's Wall Street Journal poll showing it now a 5-point race. With 2 days ago, the MSNBC, NBC Wall Street Journal poll, the senator leading Donald Trump nationwide. The opposition has a problem with these specious and shallow and meaningless allegations and name calling. It just doesn't work. Republican primary voters understand the issue. They know that Senator Cruz has had the character, the consistency, and the leadership in the Senate to run this country, to be the next president of the United States. So they can yell and scream and wave their fists in the air all they want. It's not going to work.
Jack Kingston, you represented an area kind of smack dab between South Carolina and Florida, the environs around Savannah, Georgia. I'm just interested in your take on this harsh accusation being leveled at Ted Cruz and what's really at stake here.
You know, JD, I think it's interesting. Steve has underscored that the support and the enthusiasm for Ted Cruz has actually increased as these attacks have been going on. The point that I'm making with this, as you know, is that you have the media air attack, if you will, but then there's that other ground game, the grassroots, and that's where I think Ted Cruz is so strong now. It's beginning to look a lot like Iowa, where Cruz was supposed to lose, or even New Hampshire, where he wasn't even supposed to place. But that grassroots volunteer energy is prevailing.
And in fact, speaking of that, Jack, we're hearing some of the grassroots behind Steve Lonegan as he's there working hard in Nevada. Steve, let me move from the ground game to a legal issue. You know, Mr. Trump has been pushing Ted Cruz hard on the so-called birther issue. Today, a lawsuit against Senator Cruz was heard in Chicago. Do you believe, Steve, there is any chance that Cruz will be ruled ineligible to run this race?
No chance at all. No chance at all. JD, look, I'm sitting in this Los Angeles headquarters for Congress, for Senator Cruz, and the place is packed. The Reno office is packed. There are hundreds of people knocking on doors this very minute on this beautiful 80-degree sunny day in Las Vegas. The momentum is terrific. Nobody here is paying any attention to these crazy allegations of Donald Trump. They will lose in court, and he will lose in the primaries, and Ted Cruz will be the next president of the United States. You know, you guys, like myself, you guys have both been involved in the conservative movement for decades. This is the candidate that we've been waiting for since 1988.
Dr. James Dobson, one of the top Christian conservatives in our nation, has now endorsed Ted Cruz. Let's take a look at a clip from his new ad supporting Ted Cruz.
I know Ted. He's a Christian family man of the utmost integrity. His wife Heidi will be the very first pro-life First Lady. With Justice Scalia's death, we need a president who will defend the Constitution and nominate conservatives to the High Court. His name is Ted Cruz.
So, Jack Kingston, let me ask you, will that Dr. Dobson endorsement be enough to get Ted Cruz across the finish line in first place tomorrow? 20 seconds, Jack.
I believe that it will, because along with him, you have 170 pastors. Just like in Iowa, the evangelical Christian vote is extremely important. Ted Cruz has been endorsed by all the pro-life, pro-family, traditional marriage groups. If people are hearing that and values voters are turning to Ted Cruz.
All right, we will have to leave it there. Jack Kingston via telephone, Steve Lonegan via Skype out in Nevada. Gentlemen, we thank you for your time.